Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
So I have been debating whether or not to record a podcast episode about this. And it keeps coming up for me, so here we go. So something really horrible. It's a fucking tragedy that happened in the neighborhood where I live, in the city where I live, in Victoria, BC in Canada. It is a beautiful city. It's actually the capital of BC, British Columbia. People are happy here. Like, there's not a lot of crime. It's probably, we always kind of joke, my husband and I, because weed's legal here. So there's weed pharmacies, you can't see me air quotes, pharmacies all over the place. Happy people. It's good. It's a good life here. We have the ocean. It's an island. Victoria is actually on what's considered Victoria Island. It's beautiful. It doesn't get really all that cold here. Beautiful summers. It's the best. So I don't read the news. I don't read newspapers. I don't watch television. I definitely don't watch television. I don't watch the news as far as on TV. But the only kind of news that I'll tend to get is, your Facebook feed on the far right might be a couple things that are kind of relevant, or where you live or something like that. And so I see the story because it says Oak Bay. Oak Bay is the community that I live in. And so what has happened is there was a father, estranged, split up from his wife, the mother of his children. I'm having a hard time even just saying this. He murdered his 4 and 6-year-old daughters and then tried to end his own life, and he was not successful with that, and is apparently in the hospital right now, recovering from, I don't know, there's a lot of details that have been released, but, then I saw the pictures of these 2 girls, and I'm just like, oh my God. Not that it matters what these beautiful little souls look like, but 4 and 6. Blonde hair, blue eyes, little smiling faces, like their school or, photos that were taken of them. And, devastating, right? So you can go to many places with this story, right? Sadness, right? Tragedy, shock, literally shock. Where this happened is about 3 blocks from where I live. Again, where I live in Oak Bay in Victoria, very lovely, lovely fucking community. Nice people, families. Shit does not happen around here, but it happened. And so disbelief, anger. What kind of a fucking father would, what the fuck, right? You could go to the place of, well, maybe he was mentally ill, and therefore it wasn't his fault. You could go to the place of, the reality of a lot of these psychiatric drugs, which really have these fucking, no pun intended, insane side effects, like drugs like Prozac. I remember reading about Prozac years ago. It was written by a psychiatrist who they prescribe drugs, a psychiatrist who really speaks out against a lot of the drugs that are used in his profession, and that a drug like Prozac, and studies were finding, not only would create suicidal thoughts within some of the people that were taking them, so they wouldn't just think about ending their life, they would think of 25 different ways on how to do it. This is what some of these drugs did to these people. So we could go to there with it, right? You could go, oh my gosh, because I think, again, it's I'm having a hard time even saying these words because it involves children, but I think he shot them. I think there was a gun involved. So you could go to the place of, gun control and, there shouldn't be guns owned and all stuff. And to me, it's not like all those things might not have relevance and meaning and purpose in that conversation, and the trying to see when we have these things that come up in life, in the world, we try to make sense of them. We try to make sense of something that we can't make sense, we can't understand, right? We can't understand this. And so we look for the external things. Oh, I know it was the gun. Oh, I know he was taking psychiatric drugs. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Oh, I know it's because he's mentally ill. Oh, I know it's because the family was broken up. Like, I don't know. Oh, I know he lost his job. He was depressed. Like, you know, we look for those things on the outside of this. For me, when this came up, and I shared this with my husband, and like, you know, again, both of us are just horrified about this. The fact then too that it's literally 3 or 4 blocks. I haven't even driven past. I mean, there's some apartment complex. I mean, those apartment buildings where I live, it's mostly homes and there's condos, but you know, regardless, and there's flowers. People are putting flowers outside of there right now. Actually, I'm gonna drive because I'm driving back right now from the chiropractic office. I'm gonna drive past it. Take a look. The question and the conversation I had with my husband Ed was this: is what would possess a man to do that? What would possess a man to do that? To take the lives of his 2 young daughters and then to take his own life, or to attempt to take his own life? What would possess him? What kind of pain would he have to be in to go to that place? What is happening inside of a man that would not only do that, but that would even entertain that thought? Right? What the fuck is going on? And what I come back with from this conversation is that's a man who is broken. That's a man who is broken. That's a man that has gone to such levels of despair. That's a man that has such strong belief in the thought that there's no way out. That is a man who has given up on life and meaning and purpose, if he even had it all, right? And you're going to maybe say, well, if someone's a parent, like, how could they not have that kind of, you know, way that they go about life? But that is a man who is broken. And so how does a man become broken is the next question, right? Like, how does this happen? So I'm going to share with you what I know to be true and what's real for me and what I've observed in my 48.5 years here on the planet. What I've even seen with my own husband years ago when he was really struggling to find himself. What I have gone through myself, right? What would cause a man to be broken? Well, I think whether it's man or woman, the conversation really becomes to how do people become broken? Is it because, you know, they were raised a certain way, they were abused, they, you know, came from such horrible upbringing that, you know, somehow they're damaged goods? I don't really believe that to be true. Because I know a lot of people that have come from that place, whether it's people that I know have come from horrible upbringings and sexually abused and physically abused and, you know, lost parents and lost children and like just horrible shit, abusive marriage, like just, you know, bankruptcy, health crises, but yet rose above that, right? But yet found the gift in that, found the lessons, found meaning in what had happened. So I don't believe that circumstances get us there. I think they can be the beginning point, they can be the tipping point, they can be what begins the process of becoming broken. But what I think really causes a human being, a man, a woman, to become broken is that they disconnect from who they are. Again, for whatever reasons. Maybe from the upbringing. But they disconnect from who they are, and or they've never really found out who they are. And so if we don't know who we are at our foundation, and I don't just mean your titles, you're a mother, you're a wife, you're a daughter, you're a sister, you're an auntie, you're a entrepreneur, you're a CEO, you're a, you know, nurse, you're a, like, whatever. Like, it's not though your neighbor, but I mean really who are you? Like, what do you stand for? What do you believe in? What makes you you? If we don't know who we fully are, then we're lost. then we're looking, we're searching, we're trying to fit in, we're trying to ask people what they think. We don't have any sense of feeling grounded in life. So you know that feeling when you move and it takes a little while for your home to feel like it's your home, right? It just kind of feels it. And it can be you're moving into a place, you move to a city, a new dwelling, a new place where you live. And like, it is your choice. Like, you're excited, you're stoked about it, but yet it takes a little bit of time to kind of feel like it's you, right? To feel like it's your home, your bedroom, everything. I'm going to have you consider that for some people that would do something like this man did, that they never feel comfortable in their own skin. They never do. And you don't have to come from extreme abuse, living in poverty, being in a situation, had people die within your life, gone through addiction. You don't have to have that kind of extreme trauma that's happened for you to feel as broken and lost as that father. Doesn't mean that you're going to do what he did. But there's different ways that people are broken. There's different ways that people numb. There's different ways that people sedate. So with this man, potentially, there was no sedation that was perhaps enough for him anymore, right? So some people use drugs to numb and sedate. They use alcohol, or they smoke cigarettes, or some men that are really addicted to porn, women shopping, they use Facebook, they use food, they use fitness, the gym, a way to numb and to sedate. Why? Because they're either, number one, afraid of finding out who they are, because what if I don't like what I see? Or they simply don't want to feel pain. Because here's the thing. If you use shit to numb, just know you're going to numb everything. You don't just numb the pain. And the saddest piece of all of this is that and again, this is me making, just so you know, this is a lot of assumptions I'm making, because I don't know this man. I don't know the situation. I just know a little bit what I saw on Facebook and what I feel and what I see from the situation. But what I do know to be true, sister, is this. These times of pain, these times of feeling broken, these times of feeling lost, you can choose these to be the biggest transformation in your life. You can choose, once you have gone past the point of, like, I got to feel this shit that's going on, to where do I go from here, to search for the meaning in this stuff. To look for the lessons that are within there. And I don't mean to do it in some trite, trivial way. Like, I mean to do the fucking deep work that is required. That can be at times, by the way, as simple as a pen in your journal. Asking yourself questions. What am I supposed to see? Who do I need to become to move past this? What do I want from here? How can I use this to learn from within my life? The little bit I do know about this father, this man, was that he had split from his wife and he had lost his job recently. And that's about it. So a man that felt broken, maybe a man that felt he couldn't provide for his children anymore, maybe a man that defined himself by work and no longer had that, and so therefore, who the fuck am I? Maybe a man that felt that his failure in his relationship was failing his daughters and fucking up his kids' lives. Broken. How does somebody do those things? They're broken. But it doesn't mean that you're broken forever. It doesn't mean that. Sister, there are many times in my life that I felt broken and beaten down. We went through a bankruptcy in 2006, 2005. Broken. when we struggled with trying to conceive, never could. So thankful for adoption that made us parents. All the fertility tests, all the failed pregnancy tests, broken. To my husband being diagnosed with Crohn's disease and emergency surgery, and the number of times that we had to call emergency in the middle of the night because of the pain that he was in, and seeing my husband wheeled in a gurney down the hall with fear in his eyes, pushing my 7-month-old in a stroller the other way. What will become of my husband? Will he survive the surgery? If he does, what will become of our family? What will become of our marriage? Broken. These moments that we have in our life, sister, that break us can define us 2 ways. You can stay stuck in your place of broken, victim, life is unfair, why me, fuck them, fuck him, fuck everybody. Or you can search for the meaning in the gifts. See, because now I know that my husband's diagnosis of Crohn's was actually our greatest gift, and that sounds so fucking crazy, doesn't it? We are all broken at some point within our life. You are not fucking alone in this. But it's up to you to decide where to go from here. So here's your more tip for today. Where right now in your life do you feel broken? Big break, little break. Where do you feel broken? Journal this. And here's the second point. What do you think that you are supposed to see in this situation right now? See, there's something for you to see. This place of feeling broken can be the greatest springboard for you creating a life of more. It can be the fuel. It can be the fuel. Or it can be the thing that just keeps you locked down into the place where you are still broken and stuck. So what is something that you can do? What is the shift that needs to happen in order for you to move from broken to lesson? From feeling beaten down to finding those gifts? To feeling like there's no purpose in this and this sucks, to finding the meaning. It's there for you to see, sister. And this shit, this is what your life is about. There is no way you can experience joy and happiness unless you have the pit. There's no way you can feel fully whole and aligned in your life unless you've had those moments of feeling broken. So understand that you are not alone, and there is something amazing for you to experience from this feeling of broken, and it's up to you to fucking find it. Now listen, messages like this, ways of being able to move through this faster, being around women who are like you, this all happens inside the sisterhood. This is something I created 10 months ago. Where I said, listen, all I had was live event and group coaching. I'm like, there has to be another level for women to enter into this woman wanting more movement. What is it? And that's why I created the sisterhood. Powerful women like you that feel broken at times, that are looking for other women like them, to not feel so alone, to have accountability, to have access to me, but are not at the point at a live event right now. You're just not there. You're not there mentally, you're not there financially, you just physically can't make it out here. So this is the starting point. So here's what I want you to do. Go to drkarenosborne.com/sisterhood, and you can actually sign up for your 7-day free trial today. All the information is there. First step, sister, to going from broken to becoming complete and fully who you're supposed to be. Sister is a starting point. So drkarenosborne.com/sisterhood. And if you're not already getting the Woman Wanting More newsletter, make sure to head over to drkarenosborne.com right now. And when you do that, I'm going to send you the More For Action Guide, which is how to start your day in power. So I will talk the next episode, sister. A life of more is just one step away from you doing the fucking work every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosburn.com/newsletter.